Once upon a time there lived in Japan a brave young soldier, or samurai, named Wakiki Mononofu. One day, when he was traveling about the land in search of adventure, he lost his way in a dense forest on a wild and lonely mountainside. Night was coming on, and though he searched through the bushes and brambles, he could not find a single pathway that led out of the forest. Every way he turned, he seemed to be more hopelessly lost in the briars and tall grasses which grew thickly on all sides. Weary and faint for want of food, he stumbled on in the darkness until at last he came to a clearing in the forest where he beheld a ruined temple. A storm was coming up, and the young warrior was very glad to find shelter. "This temple shall be my palace for the night," he said, "and here I will be safe from the wrath of the storm god. I will wrap my warm mantle about me and sleep upon the floor, and dream of glory and adventure." So, with his good sword by his side and his mantle wrapped around him, he lay down upon the floor and was soon fast asleep. Towards midnight he was awakened by a dreadful noise. At first he thought that he must have had a bad dream. But as the noise grew louder and louder, he sprang to his feet, and seizing his sword, looked out of the temple door. The storm clouds had passed, and the moon was peeping out, and to his horror he saw in the moonlight a strange sight. A troop of hideous cats were dancing about the temple, yowling, "Meow, meow, meow, ow, meow, ow, ow." They were led by a giant black cat, and all were so terrible to look upon that the young soldier shivered with fear, crouching down behind the wall of the temple, for fear of being seen. Then he heard them singing through the terrible groans, "Tell it not to Schippeitaro that the phantom cats are here. Tell it not to Schippeitaro, lest he soon appear." And as the midnight hour passed, the phantom cats gave a chorus of wild yowls and disappeared as suddenly as they had come. Wakiki looked out upon the moonlight shining like silver over the snow-capped mountain in the distance. All about him was still. No longer afraid, he wrapped himself in his long mantle and slept soundly until the sun goddess was high in the sky. In the morning he started down the mountainside, and was soon able to find a path which led him through the forest and down into the valley, where he saw a village. As he was very hungry, he hurried to the nearest home to ask for food. Drawing near, he heard voices from within the house and the sound of crying. But he knocked upon the door, and it was opened by a young girl whose eyes were red with tears. "Ohayo," he said, bowing low. "All night in the storm I was lost upon the mountainside, and I am very hungry. Would you kindly give me a bowl of rice?" "You are most welcome, honorable stranger," answered the girl. "Enter and be our honorable guest at breakfast with my parents." The parents of the girl also gave the young warrior a cordial greeting, and soon he was seated upon the floor between them. A small table was placed before him, upon which was a bowl of rice and a cup of tea. After finishing his breakfast, Wakiki bowed low and said, "My honorable friends, I thank you for a good meal." "You have been most welcome, honorable guest," said the master of the house. "May peace and happiness attend you." "And may all you and your household know happiness, honorable host," said the young soldier, bowing low. "We can never be happy again," said the old man sadly, as he watched his daughter follow her mother from the room. And from behind the screen the young soldier could hear bitter weeping. "You seem to have a terrible sorrow," said the soldier. "Yes," answered the old man, "we are in great trouble. You must know, brave samurai, that upon the mountains of this forest there stands an old and ruined temple. It was once a shrine of the gods, but now it is haunted by evil spirits. Every year a black demon, or mountain spirit of evil, comes to this temple, leading his army of evil spirits, and claims a victim from the village. These mountain demons demand that the fairest maiden in the village be brought to them in a cage, else they will come and destroy the whole village. Alas, this year my daughter has been chosen for the sacrifice." And burying his face in his long sleeve, the old man groaned aloud. "Indeed, I should think that the young maidens of the village would all wish to be ugly," said the young man, since the fairest must be fed to this demon. But do not grieve, my honorable friend. I think I know of a way to save your daughter. Tell me, who is Schippeitaro?" "Schippeitaro is a strong and beautiful white dog," replied the old man. "He belongs to the headman of our prince, who lives not far from here. We often see this fine brave dog following his master about the streets. But why do you ask about the dog?" "Only trust me," answered the soldier, "and all will be well. Keep your daughter in your home. Guard her closely." Now all the time the old man had been telling the young soldier about the terrible demons, the young man was thinking of his adventure of the night before, and of the horrible phantom cats which had danced and yowled about the ruined old temple. He remembered the song they had sung, and felt that they had reason to fear Schippeitaro. The young soldier hurried away, and fortunately near the castle he met the servant of the prince with his big dog Schippeitaro. "Will you lend me your strong dog for one night?" asked the young soldier. "Why would you ask such a favor?" said the servant of the prince. "My dog is strong and powerful, and he helps me guard the castle." "I only need him for this one night," said the soldier. "I must have him to help me save the life of a fair maiden in this village." "Well, for tonight only," said the servant, "since you desire him so much, but upon one condition only, that you will bring him back safe and sound in the morning." "This shall be done," promised the young warrior. "I will protect Schippeitaro with my sword and my life, and tomorrow he shall return to you in safety." The young warrior then took the great dog with him, and when evening came, placed Schippeitaro in the cage which was to have carried the maiden. Some of the young men of the village carried the cage to the ruined temple, and when they reached the little shrine in the forest, put the cage on the ground, and ran down the mountainside as if a whole troop of hobgoblins were chasing at their heels. With no companion but the great dog, the young warrior remained in the ruined temple. Just at midnight, when the full moon was high in the heavens, shedding a silvery light over the mountainside, the fearful troop of phantom cats came out, led by the great giant cat. "Meow, meow, 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 wow," they shrieked, as they danced wildly about, and then through their terrified groans and moans the young man heard them chant the same song. "Tell it not to Schippeitaro that the phantom cats are here. Tell it not to Schippeitaro, lest he soon appear." Scarcely had the song ended when the monster cat caught sight of the cage, and with wild yells of triumph he sprang upon it. With one blow from his strong paw he broke open the door of the cage, ready to devour the dainty maiden. But to his surprise, out jumped the powerful dog Schippeitaro. "Yer-ee-ree-ree-yer-ee!" barked the dog, as much as to say, "Here, here-ee, here-ee! I'll end this here!" And seizing the big cat, he shook him by the throat. With a loud shout, the young samurai drew his sword and ran to the help of the brave dog. The frightful battle was soon over, for when the other cats saw their leader was dead, they lost courage and were easily killed. The young warrior brought back the noble dog to his master, and told the father and mother of the maiden that their daughter was free, and that the whole village was free, for the phantom cats could never trouble them again. "Brave warrior, how can I ever thank you for all you have done for us?" said the young maiden. "I am the only child of my aged parents, and there would have been no one to care for them if you had not saved me." "You must not thank me," said the young soldier. "I could never have won this battle alone. You owe it all to the noble dog Schippeitaro, for he killed the phantom cats." Then the young girl made a wreath of flowers, or obi, and tied it about the great white dog. All the people of the village, with garlands of flowers, marched with the young soldier and the dog to the castle of the prince. The samurai told his story to the servant of the prince, and thanked him for his part in saving the life of the maiden, by lending him the brave dog Schippeitaro. Then all the people shouted and sang songs. "All honor be to Schippeitaro, the brave, the noble Schippeitaro. When the cruel cats came near, Schippeitaro showed no fear. Now the cats will return no more. We can live in peace forever. All honor be to Schippeitaro, the brave and noble Schippeitaro."